Steve and Jordan head to the Sunshine State for an overnight backpacking experience in a section of the over 1,000-mile Florida National Scenic Trail. This week on Backpacker Get Out More TV. Hello everyone and welcome back to Backpacker Get Out More TV. I am your host Randy Propster, and this week we are excited to take you to the Sunshine State of Florida for a trip on the Florida National Scenic Trail, a trail that's over 1,000 miles long, heading from Big Cypress National Preserve in the south all the way out to Gulf Islands National Seashore on the Panhandle in the west. You're talking about a very diverse backpacking experience if you hike or through hike the Florida Trail. We'll get you out for a section of that trail with Steve and Jordan shortly, but before we do, please hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on that bell for notifications so that you'll be informed when we come live with episode 1 of season 2 of Backpacker Get Out More TV. We're in the works now, but please leave us a comment. Tell us what you'd like to see. What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? We want to bring you some fantastic backpacking content. Also, be sure to find the link that will allow you to sign up for this week's gear giveaway. We've been giving away some amazing prizes all season long. This could be your week to win some great prizes from Darn Tough, Lakey, Jetboil, Mystery Ranch, Oboe's Footwear, Sawyer Products, Sea to Summit, Yellowstone Select Kentucky Bourbon, and Visit NC Smokies. Steve and Jordan have been on the road for almost 6 months, traveling the country, exploring some amazing backpacking destinations, and when they wrap up on the Florida Trail, they're heading back home, home sweet home. Sometimes there's no place like home, to the Smoky Mountain region of North Carolina, Haywood County, North Carolina. And I want to remind all of you that the invitation is a standing invitation for you to come explore their beautiful, breathtakingly beautiful backyard. Before Steve and Jordan got out on the Florida Trail, had a chance to stop off at another top-notch outdoor store that is going to do everything that they can to make sure you are prepared for your Florida Trail experience. They stopped into Bill Jackson's Shop for Adventure, Pinellas Park, Florida. I love this shop. It is an absolutely fabulous location, packed full of some great gear. We get to learn more about it from Brant, and then his associate Dave is going to take us through our destination, tell us more about the Florida Trail in their neck of the woods, and also bring us a segment with a little bit of a closer look at the Jetboil Flux Ring technology. So let's dive in to Bill Jackson's now.
Feeling trippy? So why not get higher? We're talking in the mountains high. Where's your mind anyway? Clearly, you need a vacation. So take things to the next level. Don't just settle. Make it an adventure. Let loose. Lean in. Get strung along. And bring the family. It's that kind of place. Why the elk would you go anywhere else?
Hi, I'm Brant Bowers, Camping Department Manager here at Bill Jackson's Shop for Adventure. Bill Jackson started a military surplus store after getting out of the service after World War II back in 1946. He started in a little tin building down on 4th Street, St. Petersburg. He strongly felt that you should be able to educate customers about the products you sell. In the late 1950s, he purchased some surplus scuba gear. And in that same philosophy of teaching what you sell, he was amongst the first to teach recreational scuba diving. And that was back when really the only place to learn was the military. In 1976, he and his wife Harriet built their dream store that stands today. This store transitioned from military surplus to specialty outdoor retail. And today we cater to scuba, camping, fishing, shooting sports, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, and seasonally, snow skiing and boarding. Bill Jackson's influence earned him recognition in the National Sporting Goods Association's Hall of Fame.
Hi, I'm David Walski. I work here at Bill Jackson Shop for Adventure, and today I want to talk about the hidden gem of hiking, which is the Florida Trail. So, the Florida Trail is one of the 11 National Scenic Trails in the United States. Some people might disregard it as a flat trail, but that's really not true. With over 1,000 miles of untamed wilderness, you can change from ecosystem to ecosystem depending on where you hike. You can hike down in the Everglades and be up to your knees or possibly even your waist in water, but seeing beautiful orchids growing on trees. You could be hiking in the middle of the Ocala National Forest and be getting to a crystal clear spring for your campsite, and you're the only person out there. You could be hiking some clay dirt up in Apalachicola and experience some terrain in Florida. I know it's crazy, but it's possible. And you could also see some beautiful wildlife, from our birding abilities to black bears to possibly a Florida panther. There's something new to see in every section of the trail. That's why I love it, and it's one of the most diverse trails to me. So, general things to know if you're hiking in Florida and you've never hiked here before. One, yes, it's pretty flat, but not completely flat. You still should have a good pair of hiking shoes and be prepared to put on some miles. The benefit of a flatter terrain is you can increase your mileage from maybe a 15-mile day to a 20, 25-mile day. So you can really stack away those miles. The other thing that you need to be considerate of is the bugs. Florida's state bird is not the mockingbird, it's actually the mosquito. They will come attack you. So making sure that you have good bug protection will be helpful for you. The other thing to know is water. Yes, there's a lot of water in the state, but you have to carry quite a bit of it. It's Florida, it's hot, just about year round. So being able to filter your water while on the trail is important. And the other thing about filtering water, and there's a lot of tannins in the water. What happens is leaves fall down from the trees and they change the color of our water systems. When you filter it through, it's still gonna look a little brown. It's clean water, but I call it Florida tea, and it's my favorite part of hiking in Florida because it looks like you're drinking sweet tea all the time.
His legacy for Bill Jackson's is for the staff to be experienced in the sports to which we cater, answer your questions, and outfit you for your next adventure.
Hi, I'm David Walski. I work at Bill Jackson Shop for Adventure in Pinellas Park, Florida. One of the products that we're talking about today is JetBoil. JetBoil is a very convenient and effective tool to be using in the backcountry to boil water. Personally, I love the convenience of being able to carry around basically a thermos on the go. I've been able to take my JetBoil onto a dive boat out in the Gulf of Mexico and be able to make myself a cup of coffee after a cold day of diving. So not only can you use it in backcountry experiences, but you could open and broaden your world of using a stove a little bit more with the JetBoil products. Specifically today, we're talking about the Flux Ring on the JetBoil. What this ring does is it allows the efficiency to be improved with your pot. You can increase your boil time with 2 cups of water, basically being boiled in less than 3 minutes. So what's a Flux Ring? So basically on the bottom of the pot, there's this folded ring that helps distribute the heat across the entire pot. With the one point of a stove being here, it could make the bottom of the pot extremely hot in one spot. But the Flux Ring is going to help distribute that heat across the entire body of the pot. This is going to improve your boil time, and it's going to improve the cooking experience with your JetBoil. So regardless if you're cooking some ramen or if you're making a cup of coffee, it's going to improve your backcountry experience. Something that's really cool that JetBoil does is it has an indicator on the side that will turn orange when your water's boiling. So you can kind of walk away from it for a second and then come back when needed. But overall, JetBoil is a quality product that you could take out on the trail and get water hot quick.
Eventually, there'll be about 1,300 miles of Florida National Scenic Trail, from all the way down at Big Cypress, wrapping around the Panhandle out to Gulf Islands National Seashore. Right now, there's about 1,000 miles. Very diverse, lots of great wildlife, and Steve and Jordan found a fantastic section with about an 8-mile river walk that we think you're going to enjoy. Let's get out and join Steve and Jordan on the Florida National Scenic Trail.
Well, first we're rubbing in our sunscreen because we are getting on the Florida Trail. We are checking off yet another National Scenic Trail. I'm pretty excited for it. We got to camp in the area last night. It looks like it's a really neat, a lot of pines, really kind of spooky black river that runs through this section of the Florida Trail. And for those of you that have never heard of the Florida Trail, it's one of our 11 great National Scenic Trails. It runs the state length of Florida from down near the Everglades all the way up through the Panhandle to the west. We're on one of the more northwestern parts of it, and we'll be following the Sopchoppy River for several miles into a section where our friend marked a really neat campsite for us.
Our last hurrah. See how it's like sweet tea. Look how big it is. Come here.
This guy just touched Jordan's face. I guess it's probably my turn to go up front for a little while. All right, y'all. Looks like it's back to the Arkansas Shuffle.
Fighter mode engaged. Alternate use for your lucky trekking pole.
I've got pretty big hands, so that's a pretty big bear, ladies and gentlemen. Are we puppies? Do we want to play?
A skill I think every backpacker should know is fire, or just basic fire starting even. It can get you out of a lot of trouble, you know, if you fall in cold water, it's colder than you thought it might have been, you know, emergency fire, or just sitting around a fire can be a good time. We're in Florida right now. We don't need the warmth for sure, but I'm gonna get a fire going, and then I'm gonna kind of put some damp wood on it or some greens and kind of smother it and give us some smoke to maybe get rid of some of these bugs that are flying around. Our permethrin and picaridin's doing a great job, but just having them, like, they won't land on us, but they'll come close. So we're hoping we can just smoke out the whole neighborhood. All right, so to begin, I like to do like a lean-to style fire where I'm gonna get one log and kind of put it across. In this case, I used another one, and they're kind of facing this way, and I'm just gonna lean things medium to smaller size wood up against them. Now over here, I've sort of prepared a couple different types of tinder. I've got some thicker stuff, some medium, and I've got some pine needles, bark, and some dried out palm leaves, which I think are gonna work real good. So what I'm gonna do is put this bark with these pine needles down here. I think that'll be kind of a good base. I'm gonna put the smaller to medium stuff up against one of these guys. And I'm just gonna stagger some of this medium to large stuff over top of it. Break these up, move them around, and kind of twist them, create a little bit of a tinder bundle. And I'm gonna stick it right in the middle of that. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more on top for when it takes off. And the reason that I set it up this way is so my smaller stuff will burn, and as it starts to take off, it'll burn and get the bigger stuff, and kind of a chain reaction will begin. And by the time all that stuff's gone, this bigger stuff will be going, and I won't need the small stuff anymore. Another secret to starting a good fire is just making sure it's got enough oxygen. Try not to cramp it too much. I've got a lot of places that air can enter here, so I feel like it's gonna breathe fairly well. But if it doesn't look like it's kicking off right away, I might just pull a couple layers back or even get real low and assist it with some oxygen from my lungs. Take one of my little Yocom emergency matches here. These and Fatwood are my favorites to start a fire, but I usually only need one of these. They're wild. You can stick them under the stand, pull them back out, and they're still on fire. All right, so just one match, the proper setup, a little bit of oxygen, you can get a fire going, and I think this is gonna keep going all night long.
So believe it or not, this is filtered pure water. In Florida, they have what they call Florida Trail tea. All the water is dyed with the leaves, and the tannins keep it this brown color, but it is filtered clean water. It tastes totally normal. It's nice and refreshing, actually. So thank you, Sawyer, for allowing me to drink this water. If you are really bothered by the color though, I know it's a kind of a mental thing, so you can keep it in the Sawyer bag, or you can have a solid colored or tinted Nalgene, that helps.
Shabbity chabbity wabbity.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it feels so good. Oh my gosh, it feels so good.
We're gonna do jambalaya, kind of inspired by my buddy Mike. Back at home, we're missing him, so we thought we'd make one of our old roommates' meals on the trail. We've got some kind of jambalaya, spicy brown rice, and a mixture that Jordan so sweetly cut the directions for me, so I wouldn't forget. We've pre-cooked chicken, put some Cajun seasoning on it, a little bit of pepper. We've got some garlic, a little onion, a little pepper that we're gonna mix in, cook it on the jet boil pan, and then we're gonna mix it into the rice with the chicken and kind of eat everything out of here, and it'll just be fantastic. All right, my rice is starting to fluff up, starting to float a little bit and thicken up. I think I'm gonna take this off, put on my attachment for my jet boil pan, and then I'm gonna throw in this chicken. It's the peppers, the onions, and the garlic with a little bit of oil and salt and pepper. All right, once your rice is all set and your veggies and chicken's all done, just go ahead and pour that in there and mix them all up.
If you're going to spend some time on the Florida National Scenic Trail and you're coming from the west, stop off in Mobile, Alabama to a fantastic shop called Redbeard's Outfitter. Garrett Smith and his team know their stuff. And so I'm excited that we had a chance to stop in and visit with Garrett, get an instant upgrade, and learn about some forgotten features as we explore Redbeard's Outfitter in Mobile, Alabama.
My name's Garrett Smith. I own Redbeard's Outfitter. We're an outdoor store that started at the end of 2016. We cater to hikers and outdoors enthusiasts. Our main thing being in Mobile is we have customers who are looking to get into the outdoors. Everyone aspires to get into the mountains, which is several hours away from us. But we have a lot here. We've got trails that are 1,000 miles long within an hour and 40 and 20 mile long trails, so things that are shorter. What we do at this store that's different than other outdoor shops is that we have local artist stuff in the store, and then we also take customers on hikes once a month. We do a free yoga class out of the store. We do an artist night where we have a local musician and a local artist show up and play music, and people can hang out and they eat down at the restaurant just down from us. So we try to be a community-oriented store as best we can. So let's talk about trekking poles. If you're like me, trekking poles when you're first getting started is the one item that you're just like, I don't need to buy those. I'm just gonna walk because it can't be that hard. And that works really well until you're in the Smokies and you take a nasty face plant, and then your first thing you do is you hitch a ride into Gatlinburg and you pick up a set of Lecky trekking poles like I did. And it was the best purchase I made out of my whole backpacking setup. If those poles had been $400, they would have been worth every penny of it. They allow me to keep a more steady pace when I hike. So I hike a little faster. I'm not as tired at the end of the day. The biggest thing that people don't realize is downhill is probably harder than uphill, especially if you're a big guy like me. They take a ton of pounding off of your knees and feet and ankles. And then they also give you another point of contact. So if you're walking and gawking like I tend to do and take face plants, they help me just be a little more stable on my hiking trips. So all of those reasons plus many more are why I like to use trekking poles. Lecky is the brand that I prefer. Lecky offers 7 different grip options and 6 different pole construction options, so the sky's the limit on how you want to configure your poles. They offer a price point option for every customer. As I mentioned, I had my Lecky trekking poles for over 10 years with no issues, but if for some reason you do have an issue with your Lecky trekking poles, they will help you take care of them through a very generous lifetime warranty on their aluminum trekking poles and a 1-year warranty on their carbon shaft poles. And if you need parts, just head down to your local retailer and pick up your extra parts for your Lecky trekking poles. So if you're in the Mobile area, please stop by and visit us. You can Google us and find our address. You can also visit us at redbeardsoutfitter.com or find us on social media, whichever type you use, at Redbeard's Outfitter.
Lecky trekking poles are a great addition to your pack to help with extra stability and help take the pressure off your knees and ankles. Lecky trekking poles come in a variety of lightweight materials and styles. The innovative handles are super comfortable, and they offer a unique adjustable strap system. Plus, they break down really easily to store in your pack when you're not using them. To learn more about the products from Lecky, head on over to lecky.com or click the link in the description below.
So at Redbeard's, we really love Oboz shoes. Part of that is because of the fit that they provide for our customers. The O-Fit and this extra insole, they give you a little extra support than what you're gonna get out of most other brands out there. But another thing that we really love about Oboz and what they do as a company is the Tabora Project. And what they do when you buy a pair of shoes, they plant a tree. And it's really changing lives in the Tabora region of Tanzania, because what they're helping to do is create a food forest in that community. And it's taking a monocrop culture that has devastated the soil content in that region, and it is allowing them to reclaim that area by planting fruit trees and plants that can be used for feed for their animals, and it's allowing them to have a more sustainable lifestyle and also improve the environment in the region. In 2007, Oboz started planting trees, and since that time they've planted over 3.3 million trees throughout the world. So it's really helping to regenerate forests all over the world. And then another thing that we offer here at Redbeard's is when you come in to get a new pair of Oboz to get that tree planted, you can also repurpose your old shoes, and we donate them to the homeless community here in Mobile.
Oboz Footwear. We plant a tree for every pair sold. 1 million and counting. That's a lot of f***ing trees.
As a brand ambassador for Backpacker Magazine for over 14 years, and now as the host of Backpacker Get Out More TV, I've had the pleasure of experiencing all sorts of amazing gear innovations. I love playing with new gear, seeing the latest and greatest technologies come to the market, which is why I am so excited that I have the pleasure of introducing all of you to a piece of equipment that I think will change the landscape as we know it. The architecture that went into this product is mind-blowing, and so I cannot wait to share with you a new innovation from sea to summit. It's not a dry bag, it's not a mat, it's not a sleeping bag, it's not a pillow. All the great things that we know they have innovated and changed the game over the years. No, actually, it is a tent. Not only one tent, but two tents. The Telos and the Alto from Sea to Summit have really revolutionized the tent game. When you think about a tent that has not only additional space, more headroom, more livability, a tent that controls the climate better, tents that can have better ventilation, tents that have more space where you need it, and tents that can actually be extremely adaptable. A tent that is not only great to sleep in, but can be a really great tent to just hang out in. Sea to Summit has done it all with this new design, and it's an amazing collaboration. The research and development that went into this tent is 3+ years in the making, and it shows the commitment that Sea to Summit has to doing it right. It's right in their DNA. Every last fiber, every last design has been critiqued until they got it just right. Also, the ability to work with Roland Tyson, owner of Sea to Summit, and his friend Jake Law from DAC. DAC poles. They make poles that are in lots of great tents out there, but Jake has never worked specifically with a tent designer to bring the innovations together in a way that Sea to Summit has with this tent. We are so pleased and so honored that we were the first to test out these amazing tents. Steve and Jordan have been playing in this thing from Colorado to New Mexico to Arkansas and now Florida, and we want you to learn more about it from not only Steve and Jordan, but from the Sea to Summit team. We had a chance to visit them in their hometown, our hometown of Boulder, Colorado, and then we got some great insights from both Roland and Jake from DAC as they tell us just how this innovation came to be. Let's learn more about Sea to Summit tents now from this brand insider.
Welcome to Sea to Summit. This is our 30th anniversary. We're pretty excited about that. Sea to Summit is from Perth, Western Australia, and 30 years ago, we started making stuff sacks and liners and a lot of cut and sew product. That's certainly where our DNA and heritage is. Our design team in Perth is, we like to say they're the most isolated design team on the planet. So Perth is the most isolated capital city on the planet. And I think that brings a lot of inspiration to the designers and to the brand itself, because it allows us to focus on products that we're truly passionate about and not be as influenced by trends of the industry and maybe what other brands and what other people are focused on, and really get into the things that we're passionate about, whether that's activities or product or just trying to solve a problem. I think that challenge in itself presents something that's very appealing to our designers. From a product standpoint, Sea to Summit is got to be one of the most diverse brands on the market today. So as I said, starting 30 years ago building stuff sacks and sleeping bag liners, to today our range is probably in excess of about 1,500 different SKUs. And that ranges from dry bags and towels through to spoons and forks and cooking pots, sleeping bags, sleeping pads, and some really exciting categories that are in the pipe as we speak. So the range is super diverse. We cater to almost every activity that you would ever dream of doing outdoors. But certainly our focus in terms of design and product has always lent towards lightweight, and that obviously suits folks who are backpacking really well. So we try and design something that is as light and nimble as possible, but also durable and will last you a lifetime, because that's very important for us ethically as a company, to be designing gear that you're not going to use for just one season and then throw out. So Sea to Summit was a founding member of Leave No Trace, and I think from an ethical standpoint about how we recreate in the outdoors, that's a really important concept for us as a brand and for us as outdoor users as well. But we have a significant offering within our range of products that help you to achieve those Leave No Trace concepts. So whether that is getting rid of waste in the outdoors, or doing your dishes, or just the basic things we all have to do at camp, but doing those in a way that minimizes impact on the outdoors. Sea to Summit makes a great range of products to help you do that.
So this project with Sea to Summit has been one of the coolest things we've ever been a part of. I've probably spent 2 years of my life total in a tent, so I've certainly learned what I don't like about a tent. So I really appreciate the Sea to Summit approach on this and how they've just mastered so many things that people have been doing wrong for years. Held up beautifully in the heavy winds we had in Colorado. The two-part venting system, the baseline and the apex, just really moved air when it was hot and humid in Arkansas. When things got ugly and rained for a while on us, we just appreciated having all that room. It's a true two-person tent. We brought 2 German Shepherds in there with us and still had plenty of room. And most importantly, we stayed dry. And one of my best memories and one of my most favorite parts about this tent is if it's hot or if the stars are out, without even getting out of the tent, we unclipped it, rolled it up, and enjoyed some paradise. I don't want to give too much away. I'm going to give it over to the master over at Sea to Summit and hear what Roland has to say about this new Telos and Alto series.
We didn't jump into tents because we thought that tents were going to be the thing that we were missing off. We were waiting for trying to work out what was missing out of tents, and that's what we wanted to do, was to come up with a product that was unique and different, and we waited till we came up with the idea and technology before we actually started developing tents. It's been a 3-year project to sort of get to the stage that we've got to with these tents. So it's our longest project that we've ever taken to develop any product, as in when we've been working on it consistently. DAC is the biggest tent pole manufacturer in the world, and they make for all of the high-end brands that are out there. So a relationship with him in the start was critical for us to be able to work with him. And Jake didn't really know us that much, so we had to do a bit of convincing that we were a real design company. And then once we sort of had that first meeting and we sort of said what we wanted to do, Jake had some ideas, and he wanted to share his ideas with a brand, and he felt that Sea to Summit was a good brand to share that technology with. So that's why it's a true partnership with this launch, because the tension ridge is his technology, and then there's a lot of the other technology we've brought to these tents and unique features and so it's a true partnership that we've worked together, and it's a pretty unique one that I know Jake hasn't done that with anyone else, and he's been in business for 30 odd years now himself. So it's a really good opportunity for us.
C2 Summit tents reflect several major ideas I've been working with, and I was interested to learn that Roland had the same directions in mind. High entrance, roomy inside, and good ventilation CTC. Roland and I have the same principle in developing new products. We don't stop until we are satisfied. I believe tent users will see how much effort we put into these products. I give a lot of credit to Roland and PJ about the top vent system of C2 Summit tents. We all know the vent at the top should be the best for airflow, but it is not easy to make it work, so I was quite skeptical about the idea. Roland and PJ made it work. I need to give them a big applause. The top vent system of C2 Summit tents really work well. Tent users will be surprised to find it out.
My personal favourite on the tent's probably the hangout mode, because I just sort of see the use of that being in situations where you get to camp, you know, in the afternoon and it's raining or whatever, and then everyone has to set up their tent and they all have to go and hide away into their tents. So the hangout mode to me is like a great sort of social way of being able to still go camping, and but sort of still put it in the hangout mode and then get your friends in there and be able to play cards or cook or, you know, do anything like that. It's a much more sort of social aspect. So I personally like that, but realistically, probably the tension ridge is so unique, and there's so many benefits of that spin off from, as I said, the ventilation, the high doors. There's a lot of other, you know, the bigger entrance. There's so many other things that you get benefit from the tension ridge. Yeah, there was a lot of people involved. We've had engineers, we've had people from all over the world. Yeah, we've had, you know, people working on condensations and heat and solar, and then we've gone down to the technology of the materials, and we've worked with labs with material technology. So it's been, it's probably definitely the most complicated product we've ever made, just in the fact that from starting from scratch to basically getting to an end product, but there's just so many elements involved in it. So we've had a lot of external help with this product for sure. The first tent that we got that was close to the finished product was still a couple of years ago. And yeah, that was a very exciting moment, and especially when we were with some other people that had other tents, and we were just standing there comparing the two tents, and it was just fantastic to be able to go, yeah, we've really nailed this. You know, we've solved a lot of issues by the things that we've done on that. And that, you know, that was still an early sample. And then just over time, just as they've evolved, and we're just trying to perfect them more and more and more to where we are now. So yeah, very, very excited that was that sort of moment of using it and going, this is great.
As you can see, C2 Summit set out to change every aspect of the user experience. It wasn't just shaving some weight, it wasn't just about space or ventilation, it wasn't about ease of use or setup, it was about all of it, and they've changed the tent game. And it's a tent that I guarantee you will have the most enjoyable experience using. And I want you to have a chance to have one, not only to find out about when they come out and how you can get your hands on one first, but also a chance to win one. So if you sign up right now in today's sweepstakes, the gear giveaway link that is showing up right now on YouTube and in the description on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram TV. If you sign up for this week's sweepstakes, we are going to provide Sea to Summit with your information so that you'll be notified the second those tents become available. And we're also, for doing that, going to enter you into a contest that will allow you to not only win a tent, but an entire sleep system. We're talking sleeping bag, sleeping mat, pillow, tent, the whole kit, the whole caboodle, all from Sea to Summit. So please find that link now and put yourself in a new Alto or Telos tent that have completely changed the tent game. A place where you will certainly be able to get that seated Summit tent eventually is REI. And we had a chance while down in Florida to stop into the Winter Park REI and talk with Chelsea, learn more about that fairly new shop, as well as avoid a pitfall and get just the specs on some darn tough socks. Let's check in with Chelsea at REI Winter Park now.
Hi, my name is Chelsea and I'm one of the managers here at REI in Winter Park, Florida. We opened in 2017 and we couldn't be more happy to be here. We offer excellent gear for all your outside adventures, whether that be hiking, cycling, climbing, or just roaming around the neighborhood. Here our community loves to explore our natural wonders like Wekiva Springs State Park, kayaking for bioluminescence off of Merritt Island, or solving problems like in our climbing gyms like Blue Swan Boulders or Agwee Climbing Center. We're also a short drive away from places like our Ocala National Forest and Everglades National Park. Come check us out, we've got lots to do here in Florida. Hi, I'm Chelsea and I'm one of the managers here at REI Winter Park. I wanted to share about Sawyer filters because I just love them. They're the best filter ever, they're so lightweight, very easy to use, and they're super important to have with you. It's really important to always plan your water sources. You want to look at your trip, map your route, and then make sure that you have places where you can filter your water. And it's also important, especially here in Florida, to understand that we don't want to use salt water. We got to have fresh water sources. Now, if our freshwater sources have particulates in it, so we've got chunky stuff in our water, we're going to want to filter that out. And so we also want to make sure that our filtered water is safe to drink and also clean. One of the easiest filters to use is our Sawyer water filter over here. It's super easy because it actually screws right on to a standard plastic water bottle. So you can use your normal water bottle to scoop up your dirty water, screw it in on the bottom, and then you're just going to squeeze and apply pressure. And then it'll filter out the clean water right there. With the Sawyer squeeze, you also want to make sure that you're taking care of your equipment, right? It takes care of you. So one thing that our members may not really think of here in Florida is cold temperatures. You want to make sure that your filter doesn't freeze. The important thing is to remember is that these filters work because they've got a hollow core inside where the water goes through in order to filter. If water stays in there and then freezes, it could cause damage to your filter, and we don't want that. My tip is if you're hiking in cold temperatures, keep it either inside your bag, next to your body, or at night, I put it in a Ziploc bag and then throw it in my sleeping bag so it stays warm. That's the best way to take care of your filter in cold temperatures. If you're not local, you can shop online at rei.com. You can also find amazing advice on our expert advice tabs. Our REI garage sale has great deals. We just got a lot to offer. Check it out.
From staying hydrated to staying bug-free, Sawyer products have been a staple in my pack for years now. Today we're taking a look at Sawyer water filtration systems. Whether you choose to squeeze or let gravity do the work, staying hydrated is a key part of backpacking. And with their lightweight design and ease of use, they've become my favorite pick for the backcountry. To learn more about these or any of Sawyer's products, head on over to Sawyer.com or visit the link in the description below.
I don't know about you, but I like to be comfortable as possible while I'm hiking. And for me, that means that I've got to take care of my feet. I've been on trips with the wrong socks, and the right socks will truly change your life. So I'm here to talk about the Darn Tough Micro Crew Cushion Socks. They're fully cushioned, merino wool, and they're just the best thing I've ever put on my feet while hiking. The merino wool really keeps the odor control down, it wicks the moisture away, and it temperature regulates your feet. So you're really comfortable the whole entire time. They also have a reinforced toe box, an arch support area, and heel. So I've never had my Darn Tough socks stretch and slip like I've had other socks do on me. I really love the Darn Tough socks, and I would definitely recommend them to anyone who comes in. So on my last hiking trip, I got to wear my Darn Tough socks for the first time, and I was sold because on the first trip ever in my whole life, I didn't get one blister, and my feet were comfortable and cushioned the whole time. So I definitely enjoy not getting blisters. Try the Darn Tough socks. Let's take a closer look at one of my favorites, the Darn Tough Micro Hiker Crew Cushion Sock. These cushions are medium cushion, but they have a really high density cushion, so it really feels supportive. And then I also like that these are merino wool. Now they're 59% merino wool, but that merino wool is 100% merino wool. So you've got that nice wool that's gonna wick that moisture and temperature control your foot. It's also got a little nylon and then the Lycra spandex. So it's nice and stretchy and really hugs your foot really well for the entire hike. I also like that Darn Tough comes in a bunch of different height options. This is the Micro Crew, so it comes a little bit above your boot. I really like that height because it's good for tick prevention. Sometimes I'll tuck my pants into my socks or vice versa, and it keeps out the ticks really nicely. But they come in a bunch of different variety of heights. So if you don't prefer that height, they've got a height option for you.
You can't take full advantage of hiking if you don't take good care of your feet, and that's why we love Darn Tough socks so much. They offer a variety of colors and designs for men and women. They're super comfortable because they're made from merino wool blend that's also antimicrobial, so they don't get funky. And best of all, the socks are so durable that Darn Tough offers a lifetime warranty. To learn more about Darn Tough socks, go to darntough.com or click the link in the description below.
It's time now to dig a little deeper. We're going to take a closer look at the Mystery Ranch Astral Frame while Steve digs into that fantastically designed pack.
Okay. So, friends, we are taking a closer look at the Glacier 70 liter, which I've gone really close to over this tour. I think something that's important to discuss is, I think anybody can make a 70 liter bag, but can anybody make a bag that can really handle everything that you can fit in a 70 liter? And that's what I'm super happy with Mystery Ranch. They've made something that I can load whatever I want in this thing, and it sits on my back cozy, it distributes the weight nicely, and the reason it does all that so well is because of their Astral Frame. The Astral Frame is kind of their bigger, beefier frame. So it's got 4 stays that run along it from the top to bottom. And then it's got some really dense foam in there. And the way that they've designed it is so that it flexes where you need it to, but it also stays rigid where it's supposed to, so that your body's not taking the brunt of all that weight. I've been in love. I've put fly fishing rods, camera gear, overnight gear, food, maybe a little bourbon, and plenty of other things in this pack, and it's just like, it feels good. It's just such a great feeling to be really moving uphill or downhill, and your pack's not moving side to side or flexing, or you're not getting too much weight in certain areas. It just distributes it evenly, and that's just really, really wonderful. All right, and the goodness just doesn't end there. They've actually found a way and patented a way to distribute all of that weight from your load and push it through these wings in a manner that distributes it evenly throughout your waist belt. Over the years, I felt that certain waist belts have hit me in a certain area more than another, and I really, really appreciate that this pack spreads that load a little bit more, so it's way more comfortable on the trail. Mystery Ranch is on a mission to make the world's best backpacks for a wide variety of outdoor enthusiasts. Built to be extremely configurable with a concentration on organization and accessibility. Plus, these bags are bomb-proof. They are purpose-built to assure not only usability, but durability. To learn more about Mystery Ranch backpacks, visit mysteryranch.com or check out the links in the description below.
A backpacking experience on the Florida National Scenic Trail certainly comes with putting yourselves in the home of some very diverse wildlife, some of which are slithery, on-the-ground type of creatures. As we find out when Kane, one of our four-legged friends who backpacks with Steve and Jordan, had a near miss. They celebrate that fact, the near miss that is, with a honey mint whiskey mojito with another delicious trail mixology recipe as we join Steve and Jordan now on the Florida National Scenic Trail.
So we've got the rainfly set up in this stargazer mode because we weren't really sure if it was supposed to rain. You know, with Florida, the weather changes constantly. We checked the radar and it was supposed to rain literally all day yesterday and it didn't really rain at all. So we weren't really sure what the weather was going to do, and we knew we would be hot if we had the rainfly all the way down. So with the setup like this, you can really easily, if it did start raining in the middle of the night, just unclip these two pieces, cinch them down. But that way we had the airflow if we needed it, since it wasn't raining when we went to sleep. So I think that was a really big help as well. Another thing that I personally did is I brought an extra pair of underwear, bra, and shorts and a t-shirt to sleep in because I knew how humid it was going to be here and how sweaty I would be, and I wasn't going to want to sleep in those clothes. So we set up the clothesline, I've got my stuff drying out there, and I got to sleep in dry clothes, which really helped too.
So we prepared for this one, and we really set ourselves up for success.
Totally. What are you doing?
Packing up, heading back to the trailhead. It's kind of weird. We're not just heading back to the trailhead, but we're also heading home.
So we were just hiking along and Steve saw two snakes. We think they were fighting, but Kane stepped on one of them. Steve's going over there to see if he can identify and or take some pictures of them so that we know. I had just checked Kane's paws. He's acting okay. He's not like he's always worried about his paws being touched, but he's acting normal. I can't find any puncture wounds, so I think we're okay. It's a little scary. Always be mindful of where you're stepping, people.
Whoa. Oh man. You see that? Around the corner there?
What?
I see a truck. Oh yeah, that means we finished, Jordan. We made it. We made it.
Oh my gosh.
15 trips.
We survived. Something wrong.
We made it.
Did it.
Good job.
Whew.
There's Tina.
Holy cow.
Puppies. Did we make it?
Did it.
Did we make it?
He's like, good. Oh. Okay, so we just got off the Florida Trail, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I'm hot and I just got done hiking, I crave mojitos. So I have found out that you can make a whiskey mojito, which is what we're gonna make today. So the ingredients you need for this are some honey, some fresh mint leaves, a little bit of sugar, lime juice, of course your Yellowstone bourbon, and then some ginger beer. The first thing you're gonna wanna do, again, like last week, we're gonna muddle some ingredients first. So you're gonna put in your honey, and honey is not a usual ingredient for a regular mojito, but it really goes well with bourbon whiskey. So we're definitely going to put some of that in here. And I know you guys have heard me say this a bunch of times now, but feel free to add more or not as much depending on how you like your drink to taste. I'm gonna break up some mint leaves in there. Oops. Throw a little pinch of sugar and a dash of lime. Oh my gosh, it already smells like a mojito.
splash of lime. If you have an actual kit, then you can use your muddler. I don't, so I'm gonna use my spoon. And I'm gonna really get in there and muddle those ingredients together. One of my personal favorite things about Yellowstone bourbon is the story behind how they kind of came to be. So as we know that Yellowstone has been distilled since 1872, but during the crazy years of Prohibition, they lost the rights to be able to make the Yellowstone to the original recipe. And when Steve Beam came back after Prohibition, he bought back the rights to be able to continue to distill it. But it wasn't the same recipe that his family started in 1872. So what he was able to do is actually find a really old vat, a yeast vat that they used to use, and he was able to scrape the DNA out of it, and they were able to recreate that DNA so that it's the same original recipe back from when they first started. So pretty much straight Jurassic Park stuff, which is really cool. I love that story. I think it adds a lot of character to Yellowstone, and it just gives you a little backstory of the love that goes into this. So once you've got all your ingredients muddled, the next thing you're gonna do is put some ice in there. Add your Yellowstone bourbon. And then you are just gonna top it with your ginger beer. All right, and then we're gonna stir it all together. And taste. Cheers.
Yellowstone bourbon is handcrafted in the state of Kentucky. These small batch whiskeys are the work of 7th generation craftsmen, resulting in a unique taste, perfect for the trail. Plus, a portion of every bottle sold goes to helping preserve our national parks. Cheers to that. To learn more about the products from Yellowstone Bourbon, head on over to limestonebranch.com or click the link in the description below.
Well, folks, we have come to the end of the trail. 15 weeks worth of backpacking destinations trail. This is the final episode of season 1 of Backpacker Get Out More TV, and I cannot thank you enough for joining us week in and week out. We want to bring you more great content. We want to see this show evolve, and we want your input. So in addition to giving us a like, please leave us a comment. Tell us what you'd like to see as we continue to evolve into season 2 for 2021's edition of Backpacker Get Out More TV. Also, be sure to sign up for those giveaways, not only the weekly sweepstakes, but that amazing prize pack from Sea to Summit. I'm talking a tent, a sleeping bag, a pad, a pillow, the whole kit, a liner. I mean, you're gonna get the entire camp comfort setup. So we want to bring that opportunity to you, so find that link before you take off. We want to have you come back and join us next season, so please hit that subscribe button as well. Turn on the bell for notifications. Thank you so much for joining us. We've loved having you join us here on Backpacker Get Out More TV. We're going to send you away this week with another great tune out of the Haywood County, North Carolina area. Just north over the mountains there in the Smokies, David Hughes has been listening to some traditional tunes and throwing his own unique flair on them. And he's going to do that for us as a send-off this week as he brings to us Brother Claude Eli's version of Ain't No Grave. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next season on Backpacker Get Out More TV.
Go down yonder gate, put your foot on the land and see, but it don't blow the trumpet, tell you here.